Just
Okay.
see Chris here.
Hello,
See
friend.
Mr. Dickman.
Hey. Who's
Just doing some pregame for behind the scenes for Autonomy.
excellent?
So
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I'm going to be doing the same thing on Thursday, creating content as we go for the Autonomy Facebook page. Um, but yeah, so Dan Kerwin in Florida. Dan,
yeah.
what's going on in Florida? What do you do down there?
Well, right now, currently, I am a residential real estate appraiser. I've been doing that about 20 years. Um, I've always worked for other people, and so that's what I do right now. I work for a couple of guys. We've been together for about 12, 15 years. But that's what I do. I do residential real estate appraisal in Palm Beach and Martin County in South Florida. So,
How's the economy doing down there right now?
well, it's an interesting bag down here because you got people coming from all over the world here. People come from South America. People come from Europe. Even when the market was bad, the market was bad. People from Europe and South America were gobbling up the inexpensive properties. So it kind of insulates us a little bit, but we still got hit pretty hard. But right now, things are rolling along pretty good. Feels like they're right back where they were in 2007, 2006 timeframe, though, just before the
Yeah.
crash.
What do you think's going to happen? Think there's another crash around the corner?
I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. I think we still have a couple more years, at least where I'm at. There's a lot of factors that continue to keep the market pretty good here. When you have a cold winter up north and people are on the verge of retiring and been thinking about pulling the trigger and moving down here, when they get cold winters up there, they get motivated to make a move. And I think a lot of people still think values are going up and they want to get in before it gets crazy. So there's still a lot of strong activity. I'm surprised because values are high. If you're a local living here, a lot of the stuff does not really appear affordable, but that's
Hmm.
the nature of the market here.
So we we pretty much know, yeah, there's the way things are going, and I've heard it coming from many different sources, from G. Edward Griffin himself. There's going to be a crash coming up, and yeah, like you said, maybe this year, maybe next, maybe the one after. But what's your backup plan? Because real estate agents the first to suffer.
Well, one of the reasons why that spurred me to get into autonomy is because of that very reason. The industry is changing rapidly, and even if the market doesn't fall off a cliff and there's still appraisal work, they're changing the law so much, and they're changing the way appraisals are done. Everything's going high tech, and so it's changing a lot, and so I'm trying to be proactive and develop skills to try to move out of the industry. But joining Autonomy, I signed up last November, and I was really kind of stuck, and that offer came up. Sorry, buddy.
No problem.
I thought I had everything turned off.
Um, I
Um,
I always remind myself before an interview to turn Discord off because people start talking because I tend to sit in rooms, you know.
yeah, I meant to do that just so it takes up less bandwidth, but we were communicating back and forth when we got disconnected, so I'll leave it going now. But back to what I was saying. That I got a couple of emails from Rich back in November, and it took me probably two or three before I actually pulled the trigger on it. But once I did, boy, it really motivated me to want to jump out on my own and do my own thing as far as appraisal business goes. Even though I know the business is going in a different direction and will be totally different, probably another 5 to 10 years. It's what I know, and I think I can make a good run at it here. So I've been plugging away the last 3 months trying to set my own business up. Got a web page, Facebook, personal and business page, which I never had before. I got a YouTube page, so trying to work on content for that too. But it's really fascinating because I'm trying to grow that business and going through autonomy. You're really going over the same stuff that I'm using to try to grow my business. Dealing with websites, coming up with marketing, copy and all that stuff to try to grow your business. autoresponder emails. So it's really been a great experience because I'm able to put what I'm learning in autonomy into action like right away because it's going on simultaneously. So it's been a great help.
Yeah. And how did you how did you find autonomy? Were you a member of Tragedy and Hope before? How did that happen?
Yeah, actually, I've been a member of Tragedy and Hope since they had the online magazine, which I noticed. I think Josh Hale posted that in the chat the other day. So I was following them back then. I was 07, 08, 09 time frame.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just show this to you, buddy. You'll get a kick out of this. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's Lord Rothschild.
Lord Rothschild. See, it's a collector's item. I actually don't wear it too much, but I wore it for the interview.
Yeah, yeah. That I believe that's going to be that image is going to be part of the cover for Rich's book.
Yeah,
maybe he mentioned that, but yeah, that's great, man. That's a antique right there. That shirt.
Exactly.
Wow.
I keep it folded up in the drawer most of the time, but busted it out for you. But bring me back on track, man. I'm getting up there in age, so my mind wanders.
In 2006, 2007?
Yeah, right. So I did. I joined up pretty quick, pretty early on. They didn't have the online magazine very long before they started the website. And I was involved in the website. I was actually involved in the first Trivium study group with Gino Denning.
Wow.
And Rich and Tony Myers and a bunch of other people in there. I got credit for being an associate producer on the Ultimate History Lesson with John Taylor Gatto.
Wow, yeah, that's how I discovered Rich. Was I was following John Taylor Gatto, and that's led me to Tragedy and Hope.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I remember during one of the lectures, or maybe pre-lecture, Rich was talking about how many people that interview had in a positive way, and that was really cool to be a part of that. So yeah, happy to get the opportunity to be involved in that kind of stuff with the Tragedy and Help community. Rich is generous like that.
Yeah, it's been a good ride, that's for sure. Going further back then, before that, you probably didn't just join Tragedy and Hope randomly. You must have gotten an idea that something else. There's a much bigger picture to what's going on in the world than what we're supposed to believe. That so much effort is made to make sure that we do believe and think a certain way. You obviously snapped out of it long before many others. Going further, before Tragedy and Hope, how did you take the metaphorical red pill?
Well, probably happened in my early schooling days. I actually, in my high school dropout, I made it through 10th grade, and then I decided I'd had enough. And just had some things going on around the family household, decided it was time for me to move on. So, at an early age, I realized that, some of the adults weren't always forthcoming with the truth or, things like that. But really what did it for me was the Iraq War. I started looking at, of course, 9/11 had happened prior to that. But and I was still in kind of la la land trying to get my feet under me, get my career going and stuff. And but I just kept going back to, why are we in these crazy wars? Why are we in these crazy wars? And then when Ron Paul ran for president for the presidential campaign in 2006, it was a real eye-opener how the media shut him out of the debates, shut him out of any coverage. When you could tell online he was a huge success, he was raising $20 million in a 24-hour period, with his own people just donating. So that really kind of woke me up. And then, so I started investigating, and of course, then I went to 9/11, and I'd seen a lot of the videos that come out. And boy, when you just step back and you look at those buildings just turn to dust, I don't know how anybody can believe the official story when you see skyscrapers turn to complete dust. It just blows my mind. But that really did it for me. And then you go down that rabbit hole, and you spend years and years going down dead ends and cul-de-sacs and red herrings here and there. And I guess, and I always, because I was a dropout, I always felt, and my father kind of put this on me a little bit too, that I needed to, better myself education wise. I actually did go back and get a college degree. I got my GED and ended up spending wasting 10 years getting a college degree. I moved around and transferred and this and that, so it took me a long time. But I felt like it was a complete waste of 10 years. That's a time in my life when I had a lot of energy. I could have failed multiple times and got back up and kept going, but I just struggled getting through school. Anyway, I got through that. The only time my degree was valuable was when I went to get my appraisal job. At the time, it was one of the hottest industries to want to get into, and I went to interview, and the guy had a stack of resumes. He goes, "I got 300 resumes here, and the only reason you're in front of me is because you're the only one that had a college degree." Mm. So that got me through the door. But then he said, "You know anybody in your class who went through, because you had to go to appraisal school to get a license, that you think would be good for the company?" I said, "Yeah, I got a buddy. It was really cool." So my buddy that never went to college came up, and they hired him right away because I thought he was cool, and then they liked him. So it's like, hey, he got a job through that. So you really don't need a college degree. It got me in that door, but I got a degree in international business management, and just really didn't want anything to do with it when I got out of school.
Yeah, I never used my college degree either. I got a useless English Bachelor of Arts degree. It was good fun. I love literature. I love the classes, but man, I didn't have to go to college for all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. You've covered a lot of relevant ground there. I mean, that's the education system is, for the most part, unless you want to become a specific, like a doctor or an engineer, you do need specialized training. But most things out there, the basic skills that are taught in autonomy, if everybody were to learn those, it would eliminate a lot of useless college degrees, because people would just skyrocket with these basic skills
you can learn in junior high and high school.
Yeah, intentionally, not really. That's what's interesting about Robert Kiyosaki as well. Not only I'm talking about basic communication skills, learning integrity and the importance of time management. But Kiyosaki had some really interesting points about how the schools, they just don't teach you how to manage money. They intentionally are designed to keep people poor. And I'm looking forward to hearing him speak this weekend at the Red Pill Expo, meeting him as well. And you're going as well. So, look forward to meeting you.
It's fascinating. I've this has been a long course, and it's been fascinating, and the people in it are incredible. But, you do run into life issues along the way. You run into a few roadblocks here and there. So, I've struggled a little bit in the last month to be on the Discord server and be involved. But I tell you what, I signed up for Red Pill like almost immediately when it came out for the group, February, March.
Yeah.
Because I knew that would keep me on track, man. I knew I really wanted to go meet other people that were in the community. Going to see some of these speakers is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the quality speakers they have. But it's so hard to find like-minded people just in everyday life that you can, really connect with and talk about the kind of issues we talk about in the community. Education, the medicals, pharmacological industrial complex, and military industrial complex. All these
issues, there's so many, they're coming at us from so many different angles, and you're exactly right. There's a small group of people who are aware of these and exploring and keeping an eye on and trying to teach people about these issues, and using the evidence, eliminating the contradictions, using logic, breaking things down, asking questions. It's a fantastic group. But you just summed it up again. The problem is geographically we're all very separated. That's why there will be meetups. Here and there. We just had the Texas meetup last weekend, and
as the community grows too, I'm hoping more people in my state, in closer geographic proximity, will join, and I can have that network too. But it's great to see people from the community connect. You guys had your meetup last Friday night for the last lecture. That was really cool to see. And there's other people in the community that have that connection too. And there's only 2 other guys in Florida, and I know one is in Orlando, and he's a very busy guy. He's an attorney, and he's got a young 4-month-old, 5-month-old child. So we tried to connect once when he was going down to Miami, but just wasn't successful. And I'm hoping to be able to, connect with the 2 guys that were in the community, so that live in my area. So.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And not to mention, we'll probably meet people we hadn't met before as well. Not only will we see familiar faces that we know, but I'm looking forward to meeting the new people as well. What would you say, back on the topic of autonomy, what skill would you say has improved the most, or what, as far as before and after, that made you really buckle down and say, oh, if it weren't for autonomy, this has really helped? Is there anything in particular?
Yeah, it's easy to get motivated to do a new task or new project, and you can keep that motivation going for a couple months, but unless you have people kind of helping you that are doing the same kind of thing, trying to move forward in their life, you can get off track and you can get stuck a little bit. And so one of the things about autonomy is, even if I'm not in there doing interviews and doing role playing stuff, just tuning in and listening to people talk and discuss what they have going on and the issues they're working on is hugely beneficial. And it's been an amazing experience to be able to get to know and just meet such interesting and diverse people. I mean, the group has people from all over the world, Asia, Europe, South America, Canada, the United States. It's great.
I do. I remember, you and I doing quite a few role plays, about a month ago. That was good fun. I can't remember if we were interviewing each other or we were doing enrollment exercises, but yeah. And
I think we did a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It gets.
And ironically now, I don't know about you, but I'm very rusty.
Yeah.
I'm very rusty with the enrollment exercises, things like that. So we've got 3 days of hanging out in Discord before the weekend.
Well, this is good practice for you.
Yeah.
You've been crushing it on the interviews. I've been loving watching your work. That's been an amazing experience to watch you just jump into it and start taking off with the autonomy interviews.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying to create a lot of content for Autonomy Season 1, and also I think it's creating kind of a slice of a visual of giving people insight as to what's going on in the course. Because honestly, this course is life changing. I mean, if young people today were to learn these skills that are covered on this course, that's it. Really, literally, the name of the course is Autonomy. The sky the sky's the limit for them. What are your then current projects, future projects, current challenges? What's the immediate present and the immediate future? What's going on with you?
Right now, I'm really in a big push to get my business up and running. We got Red Pill coming up this weekend. It's June 3rd, 2019 right now. That's happening for me the 7th through the 9th. And then when I come back in town, I have a clear slate. I don't have any travel planned till the holidays. And so when I come back, I'm going to turn everything on. Right now, my Facebook's all private. Nothing's been turned on live. I'm still trying to work out what I want public and everything on that. But once I come back in town, huge push on getting my business up and running. I'm going to cut ties with the folks I work with. I'm leaving on good terms, but it's time for me to do my own thing. Build up my skill set through the course. I'm ready to use that in real life. As far as the autonomy goes and being a little rusty on the skills, even though I'm not on the Discord server, I'll tell you what, I've been jumping into people's marketing funnels and working through those funnels, trying to learn copy, trying to figure out what spurred me to click that ad. And so I've actually interviewed a couple of the guys that I've gotten in their funnels that are trying to sell me various things. And so that's been the practice continues in the real world. My point about that. So.
Yeah, the rubber is definitely hitting the pavement now. The course is just finishing up formally, and people are taking action. People are monetizing their skills, getting things done in incredible ways. You know what I mean? They're getting their courses written, their books written, their
Yeah.
sites up, their marketing funnels. I'm doing the same. I'm burning about 4 candles right now at the same time. But just like you said, I'm kind of, after Red Pill, we get back, and that's when I'm going to really focus on certain
Yeah.
projects the same way.
Yeah, there's a lot of material in the lecture that I need to go back over and take notes. And the course is over now. The season 1's over. We're not all going away, obviously, but there's still a lot of work to go through. There's still a lot of material to go back and cover. And that's just part of it. Like you said, this is where the rubber meets the road now. Is take those skills, really drive them home, and be able to use them.
I got to ask, this is a bit off topic here, but where does someone from Florida go on vacation?
You don't go to the beach, man. Let me tell you. You don't go to the beach. I'll tell you what. I have friends around here that go on cruises and go to the Caribbean. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's really tropical where I live. We have turquoise blue water where I live. I'm maybe 2 miles from the ocean as a crow flies. There's a river right out where you can take a boat and be in the ocean in 5 minutes. And there is no reason to go anywhere like that. So when I travel, I like to go to Europe. Got a big trip planned. My wife's having a big birthday about this time next year, so we're going to go over to Europe for that.
Oh, wow. Where are you going?
We're going to go to Positano, the Amalfi Coast in Italy.
Very nice.
Yeah, Pompeii, whatever other towns are around there.
I lived in Europe for half my life, but I've only been to Italy once, so I don't know Italy that well. And that was just the northern part. We drove from Madrid to Venice. It was a nice little road trip. My advice to you, if you're driving in Italy, make sure you get on the right highway, because there won't be an exit for a long time. You won't be able to turn around. That's anywhere in Europe.
I have experience with that, yeah.
That highway for a long time before you turn around.
Well, I tell you, I've had that experience. So I've been to Italy a couple times, and I made the mistake of renting a car one time and driving around Rome.
Oh,
and, that was a treat. That was wild. But yeah, you get in these roundabouts, and you just keep going around until you figure out which direction you need to go.
Yeah.
But it's great time. I love travel. I've traveled Europe, traveled some in Asia, the Caribbean. But when we go travel, it's either to the mountains or Europe or the wine country or places like that.
That's great. Dan, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, I just like to say it's been a great experience. It's been great watching you grow throughout the 17 weeks. Great to get to know you. I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody at Red Pill. Really looking forward to hearing the speakers. Looking forward to meeting Rich and listening to Rich speak, and just being as much of a help as I can while we're there. I'm there to back people up. If you need an audio guy, I'll tell you what, Chris. I got my digital recorder. I got some lapel mics on the way. I got my my phone camera ready to go, so I'm ready to help out any way I can, but I'm just really excited to meet everybody and just have a good old time in Hartford this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be an interview free-for-all. It's going to be fun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning to start as soon as I get into the airport. Why not? I'm going to start creating content, and I don't, all I've got is my laptop, my microphone, and I do have an iPhone, which is pretty useful, actually.
Yeah.
As you know, technology is a double-edged sword. Depends how you use it. It can either drag you down, or you can use it to propel yourself forward.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I mentioned Facebook a few minutes ago. I've never liked that platform. Now I got a business page and a personal page, and it's like you say, it's a double-edged sword. It's the way you drive business in the modern world. You get out there and it's through the internet these days, and right now that's one of the bigger platforms. So
yeah,
but you use it and take advantage of it, and help yourself and help your friends in the community and your family and all that good stuff with it. So.
Exactly. Depends how you use it. I hate Facebook. I know it for the evil entity that it is, but I'll be posting this this interview we're doing. It's going, and YouTube, it's going to the YouTube Autonomy channel. It's going to the Facebook, because the fact is, it's the most traffic, but we also know that it's a beast that could just squash you at any time. It'll close you down. So
Yeah, that's the thing. That's part of that double-edged sword again, that they can turn you off at any time. So we got to get in and get our systems going and find alternatives and live free lives. That's why we're here in this course.
actually, do you have any alternative? Like for example, I use Steemit as well. Are you on any of the alternative, the growing alternative sites as well?
Yeah, I mean, I use DTube some.
Yeah, me too.
I just got hooked up with Signal. We're all on Signal now for instant messaging. That's pretty cool. I was better about it years ago. I tried to. All my business systems run on Microsoft systems, and so I'm kind of stuck with these machines.
Yeah.
But I would love to do Linux and move away from it.
Yeah, bit by bit, we one step at a time. And I like, Richard's attitude of, you fail your way forward, because, the more mistakes you make, how can you, that's how you learn. Just no worries. Failures are one step forward to success. So all the mistakes we keep making just propels us forward faster.
That's exactly it. That's the only way you learn. You can read it in a book all day long, but until you're out there doing it, taking action, it's a whole different world.
Exactly. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. Look forward to seeing you this weekend.
All right.